Good evening, everybody. Sailor Nation Sports Network here from this cold venue, the Sailor Soccer Complex. Tonight, where your Varsity Mona Shore Sailors soccer crew takes on Muskegon Big Reds. And we are blessed to have this field, but not so blessed to have the weather that we're having right now. And,
No.
I'll tell you what, though, I feel slightly bad for Cohen. He's the one that's going to be running our camera tonight. We are inside. It's a little bit warmer in here, but he's got plenty of jacket offers and coats and hats and everything else. But inside the booth today with me, of course, Mr. Nick Davros, and a special guest that we always like to have the more expertise brought in from the outside.
Well, the people who know what they're talking about.
They know
about,
the
really.
people we're talking about. They know the sport better than us.
Yeah.
Yep, Mr. Dave Fouché. Thanks for joining us here today.
Appreciate it,
Appreciate it.
Great to have you, Dave.
Now, everybody out there, Dave's expertise is a pretty special one, quite honestly, when it comes to this lady soccer crew. Tell us a little bit about your connection here, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been coaching girls soccer for about the last 10 years when my daughters both picked it up to play. Started coaching on the recreational side and then ended up moving to West Michigan Storm, where I coached for a number of years and also was assistant coach.
So before the show actually started here, we were talking a little bit about that. And I think, did you look on the roster and count that there might be only, 3 people that you have not had the pleasure of coaching at some point in time?
That is correct. I look at the Shores roster, and there's only 3 names that I see that I don't believe that I've coached at some point through West Michigan Storm or recreation.
So there is a logical connection between the success that we see out of this crew and you. The tutelage that you have been able to give them over the course of the many years of coaching that you've done.
I would love to say that. There's definitely things that they've learned from me, but also from their other coaches. Just to name a few, at West Michigan Storm, Jeff Anhalt, Jared McFarland, and a few of the other guys, including Art Dorsey too, have all spent and Jason Fisher, have all spent a lot of time with these ladies, bringing them to a great skill set.
Yeah.
We call Joe the godfather of Sailor Nation sports, even though I'm older. He's kind of like the godfather. You're almost like the godfather of Sailors, a girls' soccer, for heaven's sake. I mean,
I would
kind of like an uncle or
I would be
godfather.
probably more of the uncle side, just because there's the relation.
Well, because of the age years.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
But no, it's always.
That's great.
Looking at the roster, it really is a great group of girls. They all put a lot of work in. They're all very dedicated to this sport. Most of them do play year-round, not only high school, but then also on the travel side. Last thing, when I looked at this roster, every single one of these players played for West Michigan Storm or possibly Lakeshore over the last couple of years. And that's impressive.
You know what's impressive, too? He's got his little black notebook here. He's got notes in it. You and I show up and just kind of wing it every now and then. This is a professional right here. This is a professional, Joe.
I think we have our girls' soccer extraordinaire broadcaster with us, the expert fill-in. We've now found we're not going to have Bill Malaciotis anymore. He's going to be coaching, so we're going to have to find someone to fill in.
Right here.
How many of the boys do you know, Dave?
I'm sure that I probably could figure out about half.
Well, Dave will be with it. Well, can we extend an
Absolutely.
invitation?
Yep.
Okay, so
next
boys,
fall, you are in. So.
Guys, sounds great. I would love to. Hopefully that I can bring some value and some extra insight to it. We'll find out.
What do you know about football? Maybe you could replace Steve.
No. Steve gets that one. How
about Nick? Can you replace Nick?
No, you've already got Brett Ashcroft already. I'm already halfway out the door, for heaven's sake.
The only thing I could add to football is how nice that bench looks, because that was most of my playing experience over the years.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Well, you know what's funny? I always say, how old I am. When I was coaching at Muskegon, you know who I coached against that was a player at Shores?
Yours truly.
Right here.
Yours truly.
Him, DeLong, Koziak. That group of kids, Koziak's JV year, we were 8-0. They came over to Shores and beat us 6-0. 5 turnovers, penalties galore. And
we just outplayed you.
No, you didn't outplay me. You got lucky, and we beat ourselves. No, you know what you did, because we didn't get into the end zone.
That's right. We outplayed you.
No, you're right. So our kids' perfect season went to 8-1. I was just devastating. And my good buddy Joe Perry was
Coach Perry, yes.
Yeah, Joe Perry was the head coach at the JV.
The JV level,
yeah,
yep. Coach Perry. And
boy, his family made some really good pizza. Papa Joe's.
Oh, yeah, Papa Joe's, sure.
Papa Joe's was wonderful.
Yep.
I mean, that's really dating us now.
It does. That is, yeah.
Oh, no. But those were good days.
Big names, yep, big names in coaching. And as you mentioned, some big names in coaching soccer as well. And we know firsthand the impact of the all-season-long coaching with Cohen. Cohen is another one on the boys' side that is constant all year long playing soccer, and he is looking Premier League type stuff down the future, and he's playing at extra levels right now, and it's impressive to listen to the capacity that he's been able to build over the years. And he's got plenty more years to go. So.
Sometimes I think, gosh, it sure would have been fun growing up now with just sports-wise in general. God, year-round, I'd be playing year-round football, year-round basketball. I'd be doing all this stuff. But then I look and say, God, I'd be growing up with a computer. I'd be growing up with the cell phone, social media. I don't want that stuff. I am
so glad that most of my pretty much all of my high school days didn't have social media.
No, we didn't grow.
Yeah.
We got we went home, played outside, or went to sports for a while, came home, ate dinner, did homework.
That history is all left out in Whitey's Woods. If those trees could tell stories, I'm telling you right now.
Bronson Park, the beach for me. Oh yeah, back in the day.
If those trees could tell stories.
Yep. But you know what? Let's go over the schedule here a little bit. I made you some stuff here.
Yep.
Tell us about how we've done and, some of the competitors that we've faced. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
He's got it in his notes.
So that's a great thing. We'll get into that just after we do the national anthem.
Yep.
Okay. Because it's going to be starting, so we better be quiet here a minute.
Good evening and welcome to a balmy evening here at the Sailor Soccer Complex. North Shores plays host for the Big Reds from Muskegon High School in this OK Green Division matchup. We'll start by introducing the visiting Big Reds. Number one, Michaela Woods. Number 2, Garcia Somerville. Number 4, Karen Garcia. Number 5, Jackie Zaninga. Number 6, Tamia Mitchell. Number 7, Sarah Buchanan. Number 8, Jamie Guevara. Number 9, Neva Anderson. Number 11, Nicole Alba. Number 13, Diana Nara Gayos. Number 15, Darlene Rodas. Number 16, Destiny Gates. Number 17, Giselle Aguilar. Number 19, Riel Dean. Number 20, Taylor Zachary. Number 21, Brandina Cooper. Number 22, India Mills. Number 23, Samajas James. Number 24, Catalina Botello. And goalkeeper, Angie Garza. The Big Reds are coached by Steve Thompson. Introducing your home team sailors. Goalkeeper, Nella Bukema. Goalkeeper and field player number 12, Jenna Baker. Number 2, Lily Moore. Number 3, Mallory Hoxton. Number 4, Lauren Davis. Number 5, Kelsey Benedict. Number 6, Lydia Soul. Number 7, Allie Phillips. Number 8, Olivia Nunnery. Number 9, Addison Nellis. Number 10, Via Brown. Number 11, Shay Norton. Number 13, Allie Troutner. Number 17, Maya Cooper. Number 18, Michaela Benedict. Number 19, Emma Anderson. Number 20, Lauren Hillen. Number 21, Sophia Fisher. And number 23, Molly Wolf. The Sailors are coached by head coach Dylan Darga. With us tonight to sing the national anthem is Mona Shore sophomore Reed Tish. If everybody could rise, turn your attention over here to the center of the field. We have Reed Tish.
What an outstanding rendition of the national anthem. I'll tell you what, it never fails to impress me, live renditions of the national anthem. You know, sometimes you got to just play them off of a recording or something like that.
Yeah,
but I'll tell you, having somebody come in and sing it like that, oh man,
that was wonderful.
Excellent work. So
great. And she's only 15. She's young, bright future.
Absolutely,
great job.
They can sing like that.
All right, so my friend, we are getting ready to broadcast girls soccer here.
Girls soccer. This is our first girls soccer contest we cover of the season. We'll be covering another one in about a week, and it's part of our lineup of trying to cover at least 2 of every sport of this spring season. And again, if you're just joining us, we have Dave Fauché with us in the broadcast booth here today to provide some expertise on this girls' team and how well they're doing, and a little bit of the background and history. Dave spent a lot of time with them over the years as a coach, probably friends of your daughters as well, that kind of stuff. So you probably know them very, very well and what their capacities are, and it's going to be a pleasure having you here, Dave. Thanks for being here tonight.
Well, this is the third of only 5 home games this year. Our girls are on the road quite a bit, little road warriors this year.
Yeah, and I think that means they'll probably be home more next year then, correct? Is that how it typically works, as they rotate that back?
It should,
well, in theory it should, yeah. Yeah, usually it does that way. So, at least at the varsity level it does.
So we're just kicking off, and as we kind of get into it, let me just note a few things here. Right now, Mona Shore's on the full season is 5 wins, 1 loss, 2 ties. That's a 3 win, 0 loss, 1 tie in the conference.
Nice. All
together for Shores, I mean, pretty impressive when you look at 25 goals scored and only 5 against. Now, Muskegon is 0-4. That's 0-4 in conference play. And so far, there's 0 goals for and 27 goals against. So we're going to have to see what the matchup brings today.
Well, and these are one of those, it's probably not necessarily a trap game, but it doesn't matter. Any team that you come across and you're playing at this level, it is imperative to play well and to come out with your strengths and try to reduce your weaknesses as much as possible. And even if the Muskegon team doesn't present as much of a challenge as some of the others do, this is an important game to win. It is an important game to play well, because it's always going to be building on the next game you face.
Agreed. Now this, like you said, it could be a trap game or even more of a statement game for Mona Shores.
Sure.
On how well they can execute. Because really, when I ask some of these guys for their opinion. Some of the former coaches. Oh, looks like we got a breakaway going on.
Shot on goal.
And it looks like it's just on the outside.
It looks like on the outside. Yep. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, that one is tough to see. So that was Lauren Hillen streaking along the outside. You know, I asked some of the coaches of the travel teams what they think of the Shores team, and the things that they've told me are, you know, great defending, great defense, strong and aggressive players, you know, aggressive attackers, team speed is a key, as well as they have a high soccer IQ. So it should be a fun game to watch.
That last shot just went over the top of the net. It was a great shot, just a little too much elevation on it. We are underway in the first half, 37 minutes left, just getting underway. Score is still 0-0. How balanced is this team? Obviously, they just went over. You talked about the scoring on that, but really, truly, when you have a matchup that is pretty even, are their strengths pretty well balanced between offense and defense, or are they more one-sided?
You know, this year it's kind of interesting to see. It does look more balanced than maybe in years past, just my opinion. And what I mean by the balance is this year I see more flexibility on where he plays certain players. As an example, Lauren Hillen was a center back all of last year, but now he's got her playing up in an attacking position.
Gotcha.
I think part of that is due to some of the new players on defense, Emma Anderson, Mal Hogston, and Allie Phillips, who are the three in the back right now.
Gotcha. And probably somewhat to do with the talent that maybe has gone on and graduated and that kind of stuff as well.
Absolutely.
So 3 shots on goal that have been close, but they have all gone wide or high. So
far.
But shots on goal, very important. Got to get those.
Absolutely.
And based on, traditionally speaking, Muskegon struggles with some of the springtime sports. You know, girls softball is down, but Chris Sugan does a great job in getting them out. Girls soccer's down. Muskegon is good in at track as well, both field and running events.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know, you're talking about just the pace of the game. We've already seen 3 or 4 shots on goal within the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So that might just tell us a little bit that we might
Muskegon may be playing more defense than offense.
Yeah, we might be on the attack for the majority of the game.
Facilities here are just beautiful. They're a few years old, and they're in great shape.
So what we're seeing right now, that's Shay Norden going up the side, passing to Lauren Hilland. Both are exceptional speedsters and just very smart players.
Shot on goal. There's the first
and
goal.
So that was, it looks like, from Shay Norden, number 11.
We'll take a look on the Lake Michigan Insurance Ryan Ruzicki instant replay here.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see everything right here. See.
Nice little centering pass and just a great shot. Ricocheted off of the top bar, crossbar there.
Well, this is a new little toy that Joe got us, and it's priceless as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the Sailors up 1-0 here early in the first half. We'll definitely take it, that's for sure.
Oh, gosh, yeah, absolutely.
So one thing to remember about Shay, too, is she's only a sophomore, kind of finding her place on this team. I mean, she's dangerous and determined.
Well, and that's a very scary combination for the opposite team. And there we go. There's another one.
Second goal. And that one looks like it was by number 9, Addison Nellis.
You know, you brought up the senior aspect. Shores has 19 girls that are signed up. Only 6 of them are seniors. So you got 13, over half, coming back next year.
Absolutely.
That's not bad.
No, not at all. Plus, too, the JV team is performing very well. If I remember correctly, they're maybe 6-1-0 or 6-0-1, but
and they have 4 sophomores up on the varsity right here. So
absolutely. So there's going to be additional players coming up that can help. Backfill.
Well, the seniors are already replaced by the sophomores that are on the team right now, Dave.
Correct. Now, it looks like we have a slight give and go back to Shay Norden on the outside.
Nice little defense there by the Big Reds, getting out in front of the goal.
Tim Fry is wondering who that sexy voice is on the broadcast here. So
Tim is a great man. Also was an assistant coach for some soccer teams with me in the past.
Shot on goal, nicely defended there by the Big Reds.
Abe, a wonderful soccer player as well.
Absolutely, and he has two. He has Abe, who plays for Midwest, as well as a daughter Ava, who's a freshman for the girls.
Perfect.
Absolutely. So
soccer-born family there. That's
absolutely. So hopefully this program can just continue to build upon itself.
Yep.
The coaches for Shores, are they Shores grads? Do you know it all? Who is it? Dylan Darga, assistant for JV coach Scott White. Do we know it all? Joseph?
I don't know if they are. It's a good question.
Okay, I just wondered.
Coach Darga went to Fruitport. We just heard from Steve here.
Okay. I was reading an article about Coach Krzyzewski at Duke. All of his assistants have always been Duke grads and former players for him. Now, that might change with the new guy in there,
right.
but who's a...
Well, but that says a lot for the respect of the coach.
Oh, absolutely.
As well as what he's trying to do.
Well, not only that, but you coach on Krzyzewski, you're going to get another gig somewhere else just because of the pedigree of Krzyzewski.
Sure. Well, not only as a coach, but as a player as well.
Yeah, as a player. Oh, exactly. And it's like Koziak here. It's like any big-time head coach. If you're playing, where's your coach at? Oh, One Shores, who was your head coach? Koziak. Oh, okay,
They know. So the one thing to watch with these sailors is they're passing and they're spacing. They don't really crowd each other, and their passing always seems to be pretty close to their teammate's foot.
Yeah. Well, and the 2 goals that they've scored, both of them came off of centering passes.
Absolutely.
And that's a huge
shot on goal.
Thing.
Oh, it goes wide to the left.
It's easy to just have it and pass, or have it and shoot it.
Yep.
But when you're working in 1 or 2 touches before that shot, that's what sets a defense, kind of off kilter and gives you that advantage.
Joe, very well said. You're exactly correct. That centering pass, you get the defense going multiple directions, and when you're in the front of the net, you have the best angles.
Did you hear that? It was very well said.
I know.
I was going to tell you that I got that from my coaching and playing days, my expertise that I've built up over my years. But the truth be told, I was going to save this story for our broadcast. So the very first year that I ever coached soccer, it was my son's. He was the first. He finally got old enough to play. And nobody wanted to coach, and Dave can attest to this. Sometimes there's a lot of shortages of coaches down in the rec leagues.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So all the kids come in, get my list of kids. First practice, I said, okay, kids, what I want you to do is I want you to just take your ball, and we're gonna go around the field. I'm gonna talk to the parents here real quick. So they just start dribbling, and another shot on goal and another score for the Sailors.
Yep, that one looks like it was from Lauren Hilland.
Let's take a look.
Joe, that was a great story.
No, I'll finish. But let's take a look on the instant replay here. Again, another ricochet off of the top of the crossbar there, but we'll take it. So as the kids are going around, I call all of the parents in. I said, I want to be completely honest with you guys. I know absolutely nothing about soccer. I've never played a lick of organized soccer in my entire life. But I do know something about hockey. And everything I'm going to do out here is really going to associate it with hockey. So I've got a left defenseman, I got a wingman, I got a center.
There you go.
But the reality of it is a lot of that stuff.
There's another goal.
Yep, by Addison Nellis, number 2 for her.
The reality of it is a lot of the defense and offense in that is relatable. At that level, then you need to start realizing where what offsides does and everything else.
No.
But at that time, it was. We did good, actually. I had a bunch of hockey players out there is what I had.
Joe, I think that's absolutely hilarious you say that, because my first coaching mentor is a friend of mine, Mike Kasher.
Oh, yeah, I know Mike real well.
And Mike taught me the same way by hockey.
Is that right?
Yeah. Is that Mike Kasher, the officer?
The Mike Kasher. Yes. The one that pulled you over and gave you a ticket.
The one who pulled me over and gave me my very first ticket.
Oh,
that Mike Kasher.
Yeah, that Mike
It was on Norton. It was right in front of Tiffany Woods. Yeah. And I pleaded my case, and Mike had no problem scratching me the check. And he saw it. He knew I lived in Muskegon. I'm sure that's exactly what it is.
Oh, stay in your area.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'll teach you to come to North Georgia all the time. And this is what we do at Sailor Nation Sports. We're right here.
Stay in your area.
And not only that, you're Greek. Yeah, no, get out of here, buddy. Don't even think about coming down our street.
Boy, Mike Casher, sorry about bringing you up on that one, but yeah. That is great.
Mike's a good guy. I coached his kid.
He's now a council member for the city of Norton Shores.
Yes, he is.
Is he
retired? Retired as a lieutenant, and then he is now the director or assistant director of public safety at Hope College.
Well, that's exactly
and then
why
he's a council member for Norton Shores.
In Muskegon. You can let Mike know that, okay?
Mike is a great guy. He's a terrific guy. He's got so many people's best interest at heart in everything that he does. He's just been that.
But Joe,
and my best interest.
And yours too. You needed to slow down.
Well, he could have said, "Hey Nick, look, you're going a little fast. I'm going to give you a warning."
Look at this guy.
Look, I invited Michael up here
You
today.
did? How you doing, Mike?
Come here, buddy. Have a seat right here.
M7 Sports. Mike, how you been?
Good, how you been?
Well, not too bad. Let's see. Last time you were on with us was it basketball?
Yeah, I think
last season. Yeah. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about what you've got going on. Obviously, you've handed off M7 Sports.
I haven't yet.
Oh, you haven't yet?
Yeah, it's for sale, but, I'm still looking at a couple options. We've got a couple offers, and, we're going to see where it goes from there. But, yeah, I'm planning to go to Arizona State in the fall to major in sports journalism. It's a big move, but it's one I'm ready for and have been ready for a long time. Getting to live in Phoenix will be a great opportunity to cover all 4 major pro sports and then Pac-12 college sports.
Yep, that's
really
perfect. And I tell you, you've really set a great foundation with the M7 Sports and then some of the contacts you've made following some of the players that have graduated and gone on, especially of Cam Martinez. He was a great one that you were able to follow and get a lot of connections made with various different people. And I tell you, it's been interesting just the few years since we have known you from Sailor Nation Sports Network. You've had an incredible ride. Yeah,
and it's just, looking back, there's so many relationships I've made here, so many memories that I'm going to miss, but I'll remember forever. It's really bittersweet for me because I want to be able to make more opportunities for myself, and I feel like I'll be cutting myself short if I don't try to reach the mountaintop of my profession. But it also hurts knowing how many people I've met and made relationships with, and even the people I grew up with that I won't get to see much anymore. So it's kind of a two-way street. But
for those that are watching, Mike Meekoff from M7 Sports has joined us here in the broadcast booth with Sailor Nation Network. Mike, I don't know if you know Dave Fouché.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice to see you, Mike. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
So I tell you what, Nick has kind of stepped off to give you the microphone to talk a little bit, and Nick will agree with me on this. It's so interesting to see the people that are wanting and willing to sit in here and just have a couple of minutes of chat with some of these games and talk a little bit of sports and influence that they've had within the Mona Shores athletics programs and that kind of stuff. What's your fondest memory of M7 Sports so far?
There's a few. Probably the best one was getting to cover that Ohio State game in the fall and to be right on the sideline when Cam got his first
interception.
Yeah, and his first career college touchdown.
That's right. That's right, yeah.
Watching Mona Shores win both those state championships was really special to me. Same with Montague, and probably the best game I remember going to was either Montague Whitehall a couple of years ago.
Battle of the Bell.
Yeah, and double overtime. Whitehall missed a field goal. Montague got theirs, and it looked like they were going to lose pretty much the whole fourth quarter, and they came back, tied it up, and scored in overtime. And then Shores and Forest Hill Central a couple of years ago was really a great one to watch. I mean, it literally came down to the last yard. I'm sure you remember that all too well. But
oh, yes.
Yeah, I'd say those are my best moments as far as games.
Well, you definitely have a foundation that you can build on going into what you want to do with your career. And I'll never forget it. I'll forever remember the moment of meeting you over at the baseball field, and you were setting up to cover, I think it was our first ever baseball game to try to cover, and I tried talking you into joining our group, back then at that point. But no, you were too big for us, Mike.
And really, it's not the it's not the games that make this special. It's more the relationships and the connections you build with everybody. I mean, it's all the behind-the-scenes stuff with coaches and players, and just getting to know some of those guys and know some of those programs and really expand outside of your bubble. And that's one of the things I've really gotten to appreciate, is seeing people that came from nothing, maybe, that ended up giving everything they had to be the best at their craft and making it to the next level.
See dreams come true.
Even if they weren't that good at sports, making it on to be a successful person. I mean, those are the type of things that I love to see.
You can probably relate to this as well. I mean, obviously, coaches and players and that kind of stuff, it's fun to watch development.
Yep.
But even from this, like today, I get to sit here with Dave Fauché, and I get to sit here with you. Just the relationships that you build behind the scenes with some of these things. This past Saturday, I got to sit with Walt Kukowski.
Yep.
And
he actually was my baseball trainer back when I was in elementary school.
Yep.
I used to play in RPYA Little Leagues, and I would go and see him once a week for a while over at Extra Innings and work with him in my hitting.
So then from the media side of stuff, the second game, Mark Opperman comes and sits in with us. So the relationships that you not only get to build with watching the players, you look at a talented Mona Shores girls varsity soccer crew here, and Dave's got more time spent with them. My daughters have spent some time playing with some of these early, long years and years and years ago. But these are kids of friends and family members of mine and that kind of stuff. All the relationships, like you said, and that does include the media side of stuff too. Hanging out with people like Scott DeCamp and that kind of stuff. You have established yourself as an individual, not attached to anybody. You've got your own brand, and it is fantastic.
Well,
so
thank you
well
for saying
done.
that. I really appreciate it. And one of the things too is I feel like I'm connected with almost every aspect of this community. I mean, I'm friends with my peers, some people younger than me, people that go to different schools, come from different backgrounds, and that's what's really allowed me to grow as a person. Because when I grew up, I kind of grew up in this Mona Shores bubble, and getting to see people from so many different backgrounds, so many different livelihoods, has helped me grow as a person a lot. And same with even getting to make relationships with adults like coaches, athletic directors, even teachers, people in the community that I've loved to talk to, and even on a personal level. And so those are the things that I take with me the most.
Well, and you are young enough to not even realize to the full potential what those relationships truly mean. When you have another 5-10 years down the road, you've established connections that will last a lifetime, and all of a sudden you'll find that you might run across that again, and that relationship, that positive relationship that you built is going to come into another positive development somewhere down the road.
Yeah,
so.
And Mike, honestly, I've never seen someone your age accomplish so much with what they want to do as a high school senior. The relationships you've built, the brand you've built, you have done so much. I've never seen anybody your age accomplish so much.
It is super
I
impressive.
really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
You were literally, as a freshman, just getting off the ground, and with an idea. That was what we discussed in that baseball game, and you were really just getting started. And I couldn't echo what Dave said enough. Nobody your age, I shouldn't say nobody, very few people your age have the vision that you did, and not only have the vision, but you had the aptitude to be able to pull it together and make it happen. With ferocity. I mean, you were on that like that. I mean, it was just incredible to watch. So.
I've always been the type of person that if I'm going to go for something, I'm going to give everything I have to it. And I feel like if you try to do too many things, or you try to shortchange yourself in things you try to do, and it even applies to athletics, you're not going to be successful. I mean, if people came to practice in any sport giving 50% every day, you're not going to be good.
Not going to work. That's right. You're
so
absolutely
you have
correct.
to give everything every day to what you have, or else you could lose it all in a second.
Yep.
And
So true.
I've always said, touching back to your earlier point, that to never burn bridges, because you never know where certain people might end up. I mean, I have people joking around like, oh, I'm going to make this guy mad at the movie theater or something like that. And I'm like, you never know. That guy at the movie theater that you work for or that you see might end up being the CEO of some big company you want to work for.
That's why I say you make those
never
connections.
Know. You just never know.
So,
So,
I'm gonna break
I was just
in
gonna say,
yep,
yep.
I'm going to break in just for a second. Looks like Addison Nellis just scored her 3rd goal of the game.
And now
So-
5-0 here.
Yeah,
20-40 left, counting down in the first half. Sailors, exceptional play so far this game. So how do we have 3 goals from her? Who are our other 2 goals from? One was Hilland, correct?
Yep. First goal was by Shay Norton.
Okay.
And then Addison scored, then Lauren Hilland, and then 2 more by Addison.
Fantastic.
Addison's really finding her place on the team this year.
And Addison is a sophomore?
Addison is a senior.
Oh, she is a senior.
She is a senior.
Okay.
But she's definitely finding her place. Girl's tenacious and very hardworking.
You know, as we mentioned before, again, right now, you're seeing Cohen has caught a tremendous amount of great team effort here. Good passes deep in the offensive zone. It's easier to pass when it's open out here in the midfield and everything else. But they are being very successful at their passes deep in the offensive zone, and that is getting the Muskegon Big Reds, a little bit off kilter and opening those shooting lanes.
Absolutely.
So we're under 20 here in the first half. 19:34 left. Sailors are up 5-0. Again, if you're just joining us, Dave Fauché, our guest broadcaster, and just popped into the booth to jump on the microphone for a few minutes, Mr. Mike Meekoff, M7 Sports, and future Arizona State graduate of sports broadcasting. So it's a beautiful day for broadcast. Another great shot. I'll tell you, they've elevated probably 3 or 4 shots now over that crossbar.
Yeah, the crossbar's been pretty important. We're putting some over it, and we've actually used it a couple
That's
times.
correct.
I think,
Yeah,
to put a goal
ricocheted him in. Yep, for sure.
There must be some adrenaline going on. The girls are hitting a little deep.
So, Mike, I remember you played football.
I did.
For a bit, and then you said you did do some baseball as well?
When I was younger, yeah. I mean, I've done a lot of sports, just not recently, but yeah, football's always been my favorite. But I've played baseball, basketball. I wrestled, played soccer when I was younger.
Okay. So you got a good mix of it. And
Yeah.
sports in general is a pretty big passion of yours. That's obvious.
Yeah, absolutely.
18-20, counting down here. 5-0. Sailors are up. Not much activity in the defensive or the offensive Muskegon Big Reds zone. They haven't been able to get. I think they have 1 shot even towards the goal. They might not even have 1 on goal.
I don't think so. I think the ball went out of the far end when Ella got to do a kick, which is. Sorry, I get a little distracted by the game. We've got a run going down, which is actually, I mean. Let's give our defenders credit and our midfielders credit because they're really keeping the ball pinned. If you look at this, we've got all players but our goalie on the Muskegon side of the field.
Right. Yep.
And we're keeping the pressure on. And not to take anything away from our goalie, Ella Bukema is a great goalie. She's committed right now to go to Spring Arbor University in the fall to play soccer. And I mean, during her travel season, believe it or not, the girl saved 128 out of 134.
Wow.
For like
95.5%
save rate, which is unheard of.
That's incredible. She's not getting a lot of challenges tonight. That's for sure.
Those numbers are going nowhere.
There's a nice little break,
Yep.
cross.
Over to Lauren.
Yeah, look at that nice cross. Yep, that was beautiful.
That's nice. So I think 21. I think that's a goal by Sophia Fisher.
So
Great to see her catch one.
We'll take a look at the Lake Michigan Insurance Ryan Rizicki instant replay. And again, we talked about that passing deep in the offensive zone. That cross right there. Again, there's no defending that if there's nobody on that other player over there to try to take that away.
Yeah, that cross is so effective. And you said it earlier. The defense and the goalie are usually pulled to the one side of the net, and when you cross it, you just open up so many different opportunities.
So Sailors now up 6-0, and I do believe is it Is it a running clock if it's after 8 goals?
Well, what happens is if it is 8 goal, once you're in the lead by 8 goals at any point in the second half, it is considered a mercy rule.
Okay. And then it's a running clock at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
And, I mean, right now, I have to say the Sailors look like a dominant force out here. It's awesome to see.
Who do the Sailors' next contest? I know Wyoming is coming up here pretty quick. Is that correct on Saturday? But there's one more before then, isn't there? Not Wyoming, Jenison. Sorry,
Wish
Jenison.
I even knew today's date. Just kidding. So
Jenison is the one we're covering.
Yeah.
No, we're covering Wyoming.
So we're
Jenison is.
Muskegon now. Looks like we have 2 away games next.
Yep.
Holland and then Jenison.
Yep.
And then home again for Wyoming.
Wyoming, correct. We will be here for that Wyoming game as well on the 3rd of May. Who's the Sailors' biggest threat, the biggest opponent that they're going to face in the regular season?
You know, Granville by far was, I think, their hardest game so far. What I'm not really good at yet is understanding who's in what conference.
Sure.
So as we look at conference play, you know, right now if you were to look at the standings, Mona Shores is tied for first in the conference with Zeeland West.
And I do remember from last year there was a lot of talk about
somewhat confidently.
Zeeland's program is pretty good and a perennial, strong team. Another cross there, I tell you, that's just a great ball movement down in the offensive zone.
Yeah, like I said, we've only seen the ball really get over the half mark a handful of times.
I was just about to say, I don't think I've really had to look over to the left.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Is that why you're going to Arizona State? Is because it's warm there all the time?
I mean, that's a plus. I really just wanted to go somewhere that was in a big market where there was opportunities. I mean, I looked at a few different places, University of Maryland, University of Miami. So the weather wasn't the deciding factor, but it's definitely nice. The summers there are going to be terrible, though.
I can tell you that even the summers, if they were 165 degrees, he would be okay. Nick would be okay with that.
It's 97 degrees in Phoenix right now.
Oh.
What am I missing here?
97 in Phoenix.
That's too hot. That's too hot.
I don't know.
That's the dry heat.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what they always say, right? It's the dry heat. It's the humidity here that
You know
gets
what?
us.
I think I truly believe that the only person right now that wishes for that heat is probably Cohen sitting out there. Cohen looks a little bit cold. Well, and thankful for Cohen. Very, very thankful always. But again, tonight, no Kimmin, our typical main eye in the sky. Cohen has had to fill in for our camera shots and doing an excellent job doing so tonight. So thank you, Cohen. Very much appreciated. Doing very, very well. Cohen, a very, very big soccer aficionado. With his play, he'll be looking forward to some varsity action next fall. We'll probably let him do that instead of broadcast, maybe.
A couple good strong kicks here, hitting a few bodies in the middle.
Yeah, the Big Reds are just purely outmatched. One of the struggles, obviously, is the number of players. So there's almost literally no substitutions for the Big Reds, and then you put them against a powerhouse like Mona Shores. Yeah, it's a pretty difficult task for the Big Reds to come in here and.
Right. Yeah, I think when we counted the number of girls, like they had 15 that were suited up to play. Now I don't know if we've seen any subs come in. Yeah, so they are smaller. They're a definite smaller club with maybe one sub if we're looking at it right.
Right.
And I give them credit because I don't see them quitting. I see them continuing to fight. And
yeah, they're playing hard.
Yeah, and sometimes, too, when you get down like this and you know it's going to get tough, you get on your teammates, the game gets a little physical when it shouldn't.
Yep.
So I do give them a lot of credit.
Yeah, anytime you have a situation like this, if you're a coach and you can keep the athletes engaged and still playing, it's a phenomenal tribute to the coaching. It's a phenomenal tribute to the discipline in the athletes themselves to be able to do that. And a perfect example of that I've seen throughout the coverage that we've done is Union's football team. And Union, for the first 4 years that we broadcast, anytime that we played against Union, it was a blowout, like an absolute blowout. Now, we won this last season, but Union came to play, and they've got excitement in that program. They've got there's motivation and energy, but they had that before, and I think that's what was the catalyst behind, changing a couple of things with the coaching change, and that program just blew up. It was fantastic to see that program be as good. And I always love broadcasting from the famed Houseman Field. It's just it's one of those places where it's full of nostalgia and it's been around.
I've actually never been to Houseman.
You've never been to Houseman? Really? How can you call yourself a broadcaster and say you've never been?
Never had
Houseman?
a reason to go there.
No.
But I will say this: those are my favorite type of stories to do in regards to teams that struggled for a long time, and then all of a sudden they had a really good season. Like Muskegon Heights was one of my favorites to do this year.
Bringing their team back,
They had a ton of bad seasons, and then they got on a hot streak, won a playoff game, and that was really exciting to see for that community.
Absolutely.
Same with Orchard View, and they went 9-0 a couple of years ago. The year Grand Haven overcame that 1-4 start and snuck in the playoffs.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, those are my favorite stories.
Those are
for
great.
sure.
Great stories. You're absolutely right, Mike. Muskegon put a little bit of a press on there. Finally got some.
got over the half,
Yep.
which you got to start somewhere. But I mean, once again, if you just look at this passing, their defense is really, Muskegon's defense is really trying hard. They're putting all their players in the right spot. They're getting contact on the ball, but just our passing really seems to be at a higher level than they're used to.
10:21 left here in the first half. 6-0 Sailors are up. Playing against the Muskegon Big Reds here at the Sailor Soccer Complex. Joe Kanukin, Nick Davros, Dave Fouché, Mike Meekoff, and Cohen Holman here is the crew right now. Thank you for joining us here at Sailor Nation Sports Network from the John Vandervelde and Nexus Realty broadcast booth. Nick always says that's a mouthful to try to get all of that in, but the wonderful sponsors that we have had over the years have provided us with a tremendous amount of incredible equipment and opportunities. So I'll take that mouthful and I'll make sure it comes out sounding beautiful every time. Well, most times.
Did it without the prompter too.
Yeah, no prompt. I got that. Remember, I wake up a lot of times in the middle of the night saying that. Lake Michigan Insurance Instant Replay. John Vandervelde and Nexus Realty broadcast booth.
One of those things that replays in your dreams, and then all of a sudden you.
And then there's Nick. I can't get him to say habitler. That's the most difficult. That's the most difficult word in the English language to him.
Some of those names are the hardest ones.
Counting down now, 8:58 in the first half. Now under 10. Sailors comfortably up right now, 6-0. Nice centering pass again. Muskegon making a push. This is the difficulty with the Sailors being so pressed up. All of the Muskegon players are also up there trying to defend so close to the net. Even when you start to get a little bit of a breakaway, there's no one to pass it to up front.
Yeah.
They've got you so pushed into the zone.
It definitely clogs. Yeah, it definitely clogs up that inner 18 area.
Sure.
Yeah, you're right. There are some short sleeves down there. I'm not sure what these ladies. I'm not one to judge, but it does seem a little chilly out there for that.
Well, when you're tough, you're tough.
True.
When you're tough, you're tough.
Is it offensive linemen in football that don't wear sleeves?
Got a comment on here from Sturdivant, Mr. Aaron Sturdivant. Dave Fouché, woo! Yes, it is a pleasure having Mr. Dave Fouché here with us this
Absolutely.
evening.
I This is fun. Thank you for the opportunity.
Well, thank you. That's always great. It gives us a lot more of an opportunity to provide depth to a game, having somebody with your... That's true. That's true. That's right.
Nope.
You know,
No one to do.
Dave, we'll actually even start you on the payroll at twice what Nick is making.
So
which is 3 times what I'm making.
3 times
so,
what you're making.
And well, Cohen's making more than all of us.
Yeah,
so.
he probably deserves it. He appears to be doing the majority of the hard work.
He is right now. He absolutely deserves.
Next
at least
Elon
deserves a
Musk.
hot cup of coffee or something like that. Cocoa. .646 first half, 6-0 Sailors up against the Big Reds.
Let's see if we can put 2 in before the half.
There's
And
one.
there's one, and unfortunately I missed who it was.
Well, fortunately we have the Lake Michigan Insurance Instant Replay, which should be able to give you an idea. Another good cross.
Lauren
And
Hill
it was-
into, is that Sophia Fisher with her second, I believe? I think I saw Sophia Fisher on that right
We'll
side.
take a look one more time on the
Yep.
instant replay to see if we see who's coming across.
So I'm looking for number 21 right over
20.
here.
Yep.
20.
21, yep.
So that should have been Sophia Fisher with her second goal of the game. Senior captain, thank you for reminding me, Sophia Fisher. You know, Sophia's been one of those players that have been around for years. She's just one of those glue players for a team. Kind of fills in wherever, does a good job, gets along with her teammates.
Goal scored by number 21, Sophia Fisher, her second of the evening.
I'll tell you what has been amazing to watch is the development of many of these programs, boys and girls programs, where you hear names elevate up like that. Boy, nice pass. She had put a little bit more on that could have been a goal.
Yeah,
But it was a nice pass through all that defense there. But watching these teams, especially like the girls program here, has really blossomed into something special. And you hear the names over and over and over again, and these the athletes that move up to be the captains, rightfully so, in almost every aspect of it. And nice save by the keeper there.
That was a good save by the keeper. That was a nice shot on a line right towards the edge of the goal.
But this is no exception. What's amazing to me is that it now is at a point where it continues to feed itself, where if one name that's graduating out, there will be another name that comes in. Somebody picks up the torch and continues to go.
Well,
That's amazing.
just even in the Fisher family. Sophia's a senior.
Sure.
Her younger sister Addison's a freshman this year on JV, and it's very possible that Addison comes up next year to join Varsity. She's one of the difference makers on the JV team.
Perfect. Another family full of soccer extraordinaires.
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm obviously biased as it comes to, you know, travel and club play, just having coached in it. But,
Ooh, turnover there.
don't underestimate playing all year round, but still also playing other sports.
Oh,
You know,
sure.
I look out on this field and, you know, Allie Troutner with the ball, number 13 right now, plays volleyball. She passes to Lauren Hilland, who plays basketball too. Over to Lydia, who plays tennis.
Oh, that was beautiful footwork right there. Oh, boy, I think she
Same thing,
one
a
too
little
many
more
touch.
on it.
Yeah, one too many touches there. I think she wanted to try to get a cross out in front. That's why it didn't look like there wasn't much on that. I think she was trying to get a cross, but instead of a shot.
Right over there. And sorry, I was just being asked about, like, during the off season, there is off training opportunity for these girls. I don't really remember the places that much anymore, but you can either play indoor or futsal or different opportunities.
Shoreline soccer, I believe. out
Thank
there.
you.
Yep.
That does sound right.
Yep. The Shoreline Soccer Complex out there next to the old Norton Pines. So we're 3:30, approaching 3:30 left here in the first half. 7-0 Sailors up against the Big Reds. Halftime, we'll take a quick break. But the Sailors are looking for that.
They're looking for that elusive
8th goal.
Yeah, they're looking for that 8th. It's a little chilly tonight. I don't think they would mind being done a little early.
No, and they're playing. I mean, they're not letting up. They're definitely, honestly, we talked about it early on, Dave, about this could either be a trap game or it could be one of those games where even though the challenge might not be a considerable one, it gives you an opportunity to work on a lot of fundamentals and really hone them in. And what I'm seeing out of the passing and the footwork and everything else, they're using this to their advantage to really put some quality work in.
Agree.
Now down to 2:39 first half. What do you got planned for the rest of the evening there, Mike?
I spent after school today dropping off some open house invitations, and probably the rest of the evening just go home and eat and relax. And I didn't really get to do that much during the fall and winter sports seasons, but now I get to spend a lot more time with family and friends, and it's.
Do you cover much in the spring sports?
No,
other than you don't even do baseball or anything?
Not anymore.
Yeah. How about any of the? You kind of elevated to having a crew of people working for you. Are they also not involved in many of the spring sports or anything like that?
No. Usually I have and they do such a great job. I have the crew that helps me out. Just go to the games that.
Oh, beautiful save. That's a body save right there. That's a sacrifice.
I couldn't tell if her hands were up or not, but we'll let that one slide a little.
During football season, obviously, I can't go to any more than one game a week because they're all Friday at 7. So it's nice to be able to cover more than one game. And I think our fans appreciate that, and they do such a great job. And it's pretty much entirely volunteer work. So they do such a great job with that, and it's really allowed us to, get from here to here in a way.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I can appreciate having a crew that really works towards the goal. Everything that we have had as far as the Sailor Nation Sports Network crew have all been very, very active in promoting this and moving it forward in a positive way. And then we get the opportunity to add, occasionally you'll stop up, and we got Dave here now for soccer. We've got him dialed in. We're going to work on the contracts during the break. But just having these people that are also excited about this and watching the sports and everything else, it's what adds to the quality of all of this stuff. So it's great stuff.
So let's see, 30 seconds. What are the chances they can put that in?
I think they'll be pressing hard.
Oh, they're pressing hard. That must not have felt very good.
We're inside of 15 seconds now left in the first half.
I think they're hustling it. Big cross. Not quite where we needed it to be.
Well, it looks like we're probably going to end this first half 7-0, but that is a impressive lead so far. So tell me, Dave, we're going to wrap up before we take a quick break here. What do you see out of this first half of play for the Sailors?
I see a dominant Sailors team. I see a team that's passing. I see a team that's keeping on the attack. They just are determined. You can tell between footwork and passing that these girls play a lot together. They play a lot of soccer, and I think you see all that come together at one time.
If you're the coach for Muskegon, what do you tell the girls at half here to kind of keep them in the game?
That's a hard discussion. I think you just remind them to keep their heads up. There are days where you are just outmatched, but overall, don't turn on your teammates. Don't get frustrated by the other team. Just do your best to kind of keep your heads up and continue to play your game.
I think that pretty much wraps it up pretty well going into halftime, and hopefully in about 9 minutes we'll be back with the second half here from the soccer complex here at the Sailor Athletic Fields. For one more time before we go into half, Mike, I want to thanks for you stopping in and jumping on here. Like I said, it's been about a year since we've had the opportunity to have you on the broadcast here. So if we don't get a chance to talk to you anymore before you leave for Arizona State, the best of luck. Absolutely the best of luck.
Thank you for not only having me on tonight, but just for being so supportive over the years.
Yep.
It's been an honor getting to join you guys a few times, and I wish you guys the best of luck.
Appreciate
as well.
that.
I think you guys do a great job for this community.
We will be following where you go with all of your talents and desires and energy, so it's going to be fun to see. Thanks, Mike. So for the rest of the crew here, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back in about 8 minutes. Stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody, here for the second half of play. Sailor Soccer Complex. Easy for you guys to say, not me. Where the Varsity Lady Sailors taking on the Big Reds have had a dominant first half of this game, 7-0 they lead. We just finished up an excellent first half, not only in soccer, but a great broadcast. Mike Meekoff, M7 Sports, senior here at Mona Shores, stopped in to say hi and give us a little bit of time on the air. And it's just cool to be able to see people that have taken broadcast stuff and passions and just in general and do that. Really cool stuff. So I'll give you credit for that. Did you say you talked to Mike? Said
yeah,
stop
Mike
on
dropped off an open house invitation today, and we were chatting a little bit. I go, hey, Michael, what are you doing? And I go, nah, nothing, Coach. Well, listen, we're going to be live streaming. Want to come? Yeah, let me see if I can fit in. He showed up. He's doing well. And, why wouldn't you want to go to Phoenix when it's 90s? Yes, it's hot, but it's 38 here. I'm in Phoenix. Thank you very much. Hey, I got a question for Dave, though. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at the wrestlers. Perennial powers in the OK green that win. Is Shores right up there as a perennial power?
Absolutely.
Along with who else, would you say? Puffer? Maybe?
No, Puffer kind of fell down. Probably, yeah, Puffer and then Zealand.
One of the Zealands?
One of the Zealands, I would say, right now are probably the top couple. So,
okay.
those appear to be the top schools right now. So but as you guys can see, one of the hard things with girls soccer, too, at least at the high school level, is it seems like you have tryouts and then next week you're already playing games.
Yeah.
And it sometimes takes a few weeks for a team to really gel.
Oh, without a question.
And if you look at, if I'm reading this right, we went right into playing Granville, which was one of our losses. Well, it was our only loss.
Well, not only that, but you're going against a Division I school with twice as many kids. That means twice as many girls to pick from as well. Boys baseball, we live streamed the doubleheader from Lake Michigan Credit Union with the Whitecaps. And they shut us right down. it's back-to-back losses after starting 7-0. Again, Division I school, and Shores is in a Division I program. So
yeah, and it's amazing how you get you can see it easily.
Yeah.
So, Uncle Dave, Cade said he never knew you were a famous broadcaster.
Oh, man,
I don't know if you knew that or not, but Ryan jumped on there and made sure that,
Well, thank you.
Cade wants your autograph. I'm sure we'll have to work somewhere in your contract, at least 2 or 3 autograph signing sessions.
Well, he's going to have to get a couple of games under his belt before we go with autographs and everything. He's going to have to earn some of this. He's just not going to be one and done. He's starting signing deals here.
You guys got to make sure I'm just not making half of this up as I go along.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't dazzle them with brilliance, you baffle them with BS.
That's right.
Sailors again deep in the offensive zone, keeping that pressure on.
The hard thing is it is so clogged up inside that 18 right now.
Yeah.
And we keep pushing the ball forward. Sometimes I wonder if we drop it.
There's a beautiful
sometimes
cross.
If you kick it out, you got a little bit more room to get a good kick out of it.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And right as they do that, what do? They kick the cross to where there's some open territory. But finding space for that shot. See, like right there, boom.
Right there, boom. No, exactly right.
But absolutely, just being able to create a little bit of space to get that shot off and then up in
Well, to get the shot off with a little bit of power, too, and a little finesse. You're kicking, there's a person 2 feet away from you.
Yeah.
That's tough, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, Muskegon is fighting admirably. They really are.
Oh, they are. They're just on defense all the time, though. How many shots on goal if we had a statistician?
Yeah.
We got to be maybe 2. At the most.
Oh, I would agree with you, Joe.
Honestly.
Let me give you a Mike Meekoff story if I can. So Michael is a good athlete, and tries hard. Freshman year did well, did okay. Came up to me, his coach, I want to play more, what do I got to do? So we chatted, we befriended. And I could have literally every kid on my team if they had the attitude and drive of Mike Meekoff. It's just amazing. He's just a good kid that worked hard, and last play of the game, or in our last game a couple years ago, he got to score a touchdown. It just meant the world to him. So good kid, good family. Certainly wish him the best. He's going to do well, I think.
He is going to do fantastic.
A question I had for him. So when he does his fall and winter schedule, when does he go to bed at night? God, everything he throws out there, Mike. I don't know how he stays awake in school.
That is a great question.
I would have liked to know what.
Oh, good header into the net.
Yeah.
Let's take a look on the Lake Michigan Insurance Ryan Rosicki instant replay.
It might have
corner
been.
Kick in, and it looks like it goes off of 17.
Which I believe is Maya Cooper.
Yeah, so and that's going to be the game, my friend.
That should be the game.
Yeah, 8-0. Mercy rule. 4 minutes and 39 seconds into the second half. We're done.
Well, I'll tell you what. That was like you had mentioned that you described it as dominant, and that really is what it was. Like you also said too, Muskegon played with heart all the way through. This just overmatched. I mean, obviously just overmatched, and Mona Shores played the way you expected them to play.
Yes.
That's important when you're talking about it from the standpoint of continuing on into the season. You don't ever let up. You always continue to develop, make that progress, push forward. And the minute that you get sloppy, even if it's a game that's not a big challenge, that could ultimately develop into some habits that you don't like down the road. But this was a very well-played contest by
Very
Mona Shores.
well-played game by Shores.
Yeah, because sometimes you can play down a level, too, against a bad team.
Yes.
And that's
a bad trend. Like, you can come in and think, we can rest this one, but that's a bad thing.
And you can, and bad things happen when you don't play well. So boss, what do we got on the schedule now? What's coming down
Next one up, we're going to be right back here. Girls against Wyoming is our next one, and it's next Tuesday, the 3rd.
Tuesday at this time,
should be another 6 o'clock or 6:30 game, I believe. 6:45 is what it says here.
Yeah.
So we'll keep a look on that. Sometimes those
Dave, you going to join us?
I'll be back.
Yes,
that sounds wonderful.
Again, guys, I really enjoyed this today.
I guess you maybe call this your debut, your interview. I guess I think you passed. I think we'll bring it back.
Well, yeah, I think so. We'll have to wait to get the reaction from Sailor Nation Sports out there, because they can be brutal.
Probably do some fact checking.
Some fact checking.
Cohen's got us on camera here, so you can wave to Sailor Nation there. Well, I think since the ladies have decided it's too cold to play soccer, we could probably pack
too cold to
things up
announce
here.
right now, too.
And hopefully within a week we'll have a little bit better weather, maybe some sunshine.
Let me talk to the boys up top.
You do that.
Okay,
so, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here from the John Vandervelde Nexus Realty broadcast booth at the Sailor Soccer Complex for Nick Davros, Cohen Holman, myself, and the wonderful Dave Boucher. We thank you for joining us. Mr. Dave Fouché will be back again next week, and maybe we even have some more of the crew here as well. So everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe, and we'll see you next week right here at the Sailor Soccer Complex as the Mona Shores Sailors Varsity Soccer ladies take on the Wyoming Wolves. Take care.